And welcome to the fourth and final test match of the Backyard Cricket England series between Alex's 11 and Dan's 11. This one is at the Nutfield Tennis Centre in Sussex. Not a lot to play for in terms of the series. Alex's 11 have got that in the bag for the second year running with an unassailable 2-0 lead after the draw at Hampshire. And there's some changes to their lineup. 3 debutants coming in as well as a returning Bevan West. For Dan's team, a couple of debutants in theirs, including Asif Khan, who we've been excited to see after a long time out, and James Ramsey back in the side after impressing at Woldingham. Alex's 11 have won the toss and they've chosen to bat. Not a lot other than pride to play for this game, but there is still Ashes selection to consider with our trip to Australia scheduled for February 2023. So we're going to go back now to the Nutfield Centre and watch the start of the game. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Nutfield for another fabulous venue, the fourth and final venue of this test series, and they've all provided us great entertainment. We have been lucky to play at some fantastic venues, and Nutfield Tennis Centre will be the last of them. Alex's 11 winning the toss, and the captain himself is going to start off along with Lewis Chapman, as per usual. Found a little bit of form in the last game, Smith, after a tough series. Half century in the second innings there. And James Ramsey is going to get us going for Dan's team. Great to have him back after missing the game in Hampshire. Hugely impressive at Woldingham earlier in the series on day. And Smith right in behind the first ball, picked up by Callum Letts at cover. And just an apology, our front camera is temporarily down. We do expect to have this running shortly, as Smith gets a little nick onto the pad. We expect to have our main camera up and running before too long. It's not a long-term issue. Our technicians are resolving this now, and hopefully in a couple of overs' time we'll be able to see things from the front. Bump ball. Seems to have found his length early, James Ramsey. No looseners to start with, on the money. Very impressive cricketer. And Smith in behind it again. Already noticeable that he's getting further forward here, Smith. Struggled to get his feet going earlier in the series. But again there, pushing forward a lot more. Good over this from Ramsey. And Smith in behind it again. Well, both players will be happy with how they've started there. And it's 0 for 0 off one. Lewis Chapman. Difficult series, shown some signs of promise. Has a technique that can be worked with, but struggled to get really going. Oh, on first ball, Gurpal Singh. Well, what a start for Dan's team. They'll want to win this test match. And they've got off to the best possible start there. Can't really tell from the side angle, but Lewis's defence looks tight there, so I'd imagine that's probably come in a bit. Beat him on the outside of the bat. He'll be disappointed. But it does bring to the crease one of the stars of the series. Rob Maguire has been excellent. What a revelation at number 3. In hindsight, a brilliant decision from the captain to put him at number 3. There were some questions at the start of the series about whether that was the right option. But he's backed him, and Maguire has delivered in emphatic style. But he's got a job on his hands here. Gurpal Singh, what a start from him. Been quietly impressive with the ball in this series. Not really had the wickets to show for it. He's a batsman by nature. And he's surprised a few people in this series. Good control, changes of pace. Canny bowler. And Maguire leaves it alone outside off. Well, has he nicked it? He has nicked it. Another one goes. Well, they've got Maguire. What a start this is from Gurpal Singh and Dan's 11 here. Maguire nicking off second ball. Well, that's a surprise. One thing you don't really see from Maguire is looseness outside off stump. He's a very good player through the covers. That is a bit of a surprise. Sathya holds the catch, and Dan's 11, well, what a roaring start. Ricky Borrett, the new man, reliably excellent yet again in this series. Half centuries in all 3 test matches so far. Not gone on to make a big match-defining score in this series, but he's played well throughout. But he's up against it here. Gurpal Singh, what about this? Magnificent start from him. Dan's 11, well, they lost 2-0 last year. They're losing 2-0 this year. Yet to win a test in backyard cricket. They will be desperate to put one on the board as a little parting shot for this year's campaign. And they could not have hoped for a better start. Smith has had a tough series but made runs in the last innings, and Ricky Borrett has been excellent throughout, so they'll need to break this partnership sooner rather than later to really capitalise on their dominance at the moment. But Gurpal Singh, double wicket maiden. Absolutely fantastic from him. It's 0 for 2 at Nutfield. And there'll be no let-up for Alex's team. Yusuf Sharif. Yep, calls him through. I think that was off the glove. Yusuf Sharif, another who's had a good series without really getting the wickets to show for it. Keeps batsmen penned in, doesn't go for a lot. For whatever reason, he's just not quite been able to get his wicket tally to match his efforts. Ricky Borrett, excellent series from him up to now. Under pressure to keep that going here. Bouncer from Sharif. You don't see that very often from him. Bowled it well there, though. I think Borrett's taken that one possibly on the gut. Timed it well, but straight to Ramsey at mid-on. And good fielding from Sharif off his own bowling. Just looks to be a little bit down on pace in this over. Just getting started, obviously. Well, that's timed well. That could go. It has gone. No mid-off. Just a push from Ricky Borrett, and he's up and running. Lovely shot. 5 for 2. Both batsmen off the mark, and they'll be feeling better about that. And we've got a debutant, Asif Khan. Popular member of this side. Not been available for any test matches up to now. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Good cricketer. Not much of a batsman, but a handy, wily bowler. And improved a lot in recent years. Oh, that's 4. That's nicely played. Got right through that, Smith. Yeah, well timed. Nice little push down the ground. In between the bowler and mid-off. Good placement. Looks like he's carried his form from the second innings at Hampshire over to here. He'll be wanting to show a bit more fluency today, Smith. He got runs at Hampshire, but it was quite a scrappy knock. Wasn't really fluent or in rhythm, but he fought really hard for his team. He'll be wanting to show a bit more of his stroke making today if he can. Started well so far. Looks in good rhythm. Down leg, and it's wided. First extras of the day, and that's something we'll be keeping an eye on. One of the big differences between the sides in this series has been the amount of extras that Dan's 11 have conceded. No run into the leg side. It's really cost them. They've given away far too many wides in particular in this series. 11 for 2 off 4. Interesting start to this test match. Leg spinning out, Vamsi Bogiretti. Exciting cricketer. Never dull when he's involved with bat or ball. Had an erratic series, but taken wickets, made some really useful contributions. Jack in the box player. And he's got Ricky Borrett to contend with now. Dan's team well on top at the moment. But they'll want one more wicket. Won't want these two to settle. A little bit of a delay. Up and running now. Bogey ready to Borrett. Full toss. Nudged through the offside. Oh, he's had a go. Bit late on it. Think it's come off the arm. Bit elaborate that from Borrett early on. Likes to get control of things early. Oh, and he's hammered that. That's lovely. Well played. Real bottom hand in that stroke from Ricky Borrett. Muscled it more than timed it. Yeah, played it well. Doesn't like to hang around at the start of his innings. Likes to get on top of the bowlers early on. Oh, that's a wide. And that's what he can do, Ricky Borrett. Messes with bowlers' rhythm because he's so positive. And that's another boundary. Well played. That's a better shot than the first one. That's lovely, that. That was quite a long way outside off stump. Lent into it. Got the reach. Round the wicket now, bogey ready. Under a bit of pressure here. And another wide. Well, that's a sign of what Ricky Borrett can do. He can mess with the bowler's rhythm. Good over that for Alex's team. 12 off it. 23 for 2. And we're told that our main front on camera should be working within the next over or two. So we're going to have to put up with the side angle for a little longer. But we will be able to bring you footage from the front within the next few minutes. Callum Letts is on now. Couple of dot balls to start. Smith, one of the features of his innings at Hampshire was his discipline outside off stump. He's a good driver of a ball, but he didn't go anywhere near that shot at Hampshire. Occupied a sort of no-risk mindset to that innings, trying to get his team over the line and secure the series. And that's what he did along with Maguire. Right in behind that. He's got forward a lot more today. That's been noticeable. Right in behind that again. It's good from Callum Letts. And again, left alone. Well, discipline is the order of the day for Smith again, it would seem. 25 for 2 off 6. And it is going to be the skipper. Had an excellent series, Dan Mears. Another who's just not had the wickets to reflect his efforts. But barely gone for a run all the way through. Fought for his team, led by example. Bowled with aggression. Never shied away from a challenge. It's been a hugely impressive performance from Mears in this series. Even got a few runs to show for it as well. Started pretty well here. But Borrett looks good. Looks in good touch as he's done all the way through this series. Down leg. Well, good fielding between them in the end. Just about. Footwork from the pair. It was Bogaretti and Ramsey out there. Saves Mears a boundary. Well, I'm not sure what that's hit. What will this be given as? Leg by. Run well so far, these two. They do bat well together generally. Good understanding between them. And the singles are going to be important here. This is one of the bigger venues in terms of the outfield. There will be more singles here than you would see somewhere like Woldingham with the very tight boundaries. Another one goes by and suddenly things aren't looking quite so rocky for Alex's team. A little bit more secure now. Still a long way from safety though. Dan's team still in charge, and one more wicket will really change the picture. And we've got a debutant, Cassava ready. We're told he's an all-rounder, bowling all-rounder. Not seen too much of him in the past. Looks pretty pacey. More of a walk than a run-up. A lot of pace in the shoulder though, got that through quickly. And again there. Interesting action that. I think Smith was comfortably home. Good rotation of strike again. Interesting bowling style this from Reddy. Just sort of ambles up to the crease and then a snap of the shoulders, comes through with a bit of pace. That's down leg. Can't really see from this angle how much movement he's getting. These balls do tend to swing a lot. Didn't really move at all in Hampshire. Down leg again. So just struggling with the right hander here, Reddy. Bowled a couple of decent nuts at Ricky Borrett, but both down leg against Smith. That's a bit better. Probably going down leg again, you would think, based on the reaction of the outfielders. And we are back with our front camera. So apologies for the 7.5 overs that we couldn't bring you this angle, but we're up and running now. Oh, and Smith has a flash. Interesting over that from Reddy, 27 for 2. And it is going to be James Crowther. Been a tough series for him with bat and ball. But has taken the odd key wicket, usually Nav Saeed's. Made runs in the last innings run chase at Hampshire unsuccessfully. Starts with a wide here. Yeah, got hold of it. Well played. Short and wide. Required a bit of reach still from Borrett, but he got there. Can't really bowl short to Ricky Borrett. Very good back foot player, particularly through that sort of point to cover region. Turn down the single. Probably the right decision. Good intent though from the batsman, looking to rotate strike. And again there. They have a good understanding, they've been playing together a long time. They do bat well usually. Haven't been able to see too much of it in this series because of the poor form of Smith. In fact, I'm just being told this is actually the first time that Smith and Borrett have batted together in the entire series. Something of a surprise, but they'll get through there. Down leg from Crowther. 36 for 2. Now, worth mentioning at this point, Alvin Sathya has picked up an injury and is unable to bowl in this match. So Alex's 11 have agreed that for each 10-over rotation, one bowler can bowl twice. And that's why you're seeing James Ramsey now. Alvin Sathya, with the gloves on behind the stumps, is not fit enough to bowl. So Alex's team have agreed with Dan's 11 that a bowler can have 2 overs in each 10-over set. And on this occasion, he's gone with James Ramsey. That won't be a fixed bowler. That will be captain's choice within every rotation. And I think that's off the toe. I think he's got a little edge on that. It's given us runs. Good from Ramsey. And left alone. Not surprised he's been given this over. His first over, probably along with Gurpal Singh, was the best of them. Gurpal Singh with the wickets, but Ramsey was equally menacing. And another edge. Well, not many people draw the edge of Borett's bat. Ramsey's done it twice within this over, and both times it's cost him a boundary. But very good bowling. Wonder if he's the best chance of getting Borett early here. Borett has raced to 25 without really straining too much effort. Been a good start from him. And that's the end of the first 10. 44 for 2. Looking a bit more balanced now. Haven't played on this venue before, so it's tough to know what a good score is, but it looks like a 200 track. It'll be interesting to see how much movement there is after a surprising absence of any life at all for the bowlers at Hampshire, which is what led to the high-scoring draw. This game is better when the ball does a bit. Gurpal Singh back on, and Smith puts him away. Wide full toss. Not quite as on the money as his first over, Singh. Double wicket maiden he began with. Low full toss here. And put away by the captain. Been a more cautious start from him. Oh, little nibble. Think he's left that. Think he's held the bat in just enough there. But did offer a little waft at it. Not this time though. No surprise that he looks in a lot better rhythm once his discipline outside off stump has tightened up. Can also see he's a lot straighter in terms of where he stands now. We're standing on middle and leg in the early parts of this series. He's moved over to middle and off and seems to have benefited from it. Interesting technical changes that can crop up throughout a long series. Another over goes by, 48 for 2. Sharif again. Just looked a little down on pace in his first over. Natural at the start of a test match. A little bit of rust. That was on the money. Good area from Sharif.
And you've laughed at that. But he wasn't playing anyway.
Good from Sharif. Pace looks up again in this over.
That's true, you know, because he's done that on purpose. He's got
Well left from Borett. 48 the partnership already.
no ball.
And a no ball. Our extra's going to define this game again for Dan's team. It's the 50 up for Alex's 11. The batsmen between them have made just 34. More than a run and over being given away in extras at the moment. It's been a scourge of the series for Dan's team. And that might be called as another one. Is he going to give this? Yep, it's given us a wide by square leg. Another couple of runs on the board. And they'll take one for that. Not sure if that's going to be a bye or leg bye. Leg bye it is.
That's over.
Must have just flicked the top of Borett's leg. 50 partnership. Played well these two. Haven't really got out of second gear yet. Or first gear in Smith's case. Doing a good job, the pair of them. Stepping up to the plate here. Well dodged. Be interesting to see Reddy's action from this angle. And there was a bit of swing there. Oh, had a little flash at that. It's one of his strong areas, Ricky Borrett. Not got it right that time. Interesting over that from Reddy. 57 for 2. Looks like it's going to be the debutant again, Asif Khan. Decent first over from him. And they'll take one for that. That's down leg and a bite. Not called a wide.
No ball.
No ball and 4. That's well controlled from Ricky Borrett. Just got a touch on it, enough to pick the gap. And nicely in behind that. Looks in good touch, Ricky Borrett again. Could this be the day where he finally goes on to make that really big score that he's been threatening? Tends to be the 50 and out man at the moment, which is a pretty good problem to have, in fairness. It's a problem that a lot of other players in this series would be delighted to have. But the next step for him is to go on. After what we saw from Sathya and Maguire in the last test, Borrett is good enough to have made a century by now. And as evidence there, and that is a brilliant shot. Just have a look at this one again. That is an absolutely magnificent shot, I think, here. That is right up there with the shots of the series. What a brilliant piece of batting that is. Absolutely superb. Extraordinary control and footwork and balance involved in that. That was magnificent. Pitched outside leg, otherwise it was probably hitting. That's a bit of a risk from Borrett. Expensive from Asif Khan. 68 for 2, and Alex's 11. Just starting to exert a bit of control here, largely because of Ricky Borrett. And it's going to be captain to captain now. Mears to Smith. Well timed. He's unlucky not to get anything for that. Good bit of fielding. Mears yet to dismiss Smith in this series. Smith has got Mears out once. That was in the opening test at Bromley. So advantage Smith in that sense. Giving us a bite. Gets down the other end. Been another decent over this from Dan Mears. Gets through them really quickly as well. It's noticeable with Mears. An over barely lasts a minute and a half when he's bowling. Really races through. Oh, and that's a ripper. Excellent bit of bowling from Mears. 69 for 2. Vamsey Bogiretti now. The leg spinner. Poor first over. Borrett got on top of him a little bit. And he started by throwing one down leg here. Not called a wide. He's gotten away with that. Yeah, that's well played. Full toss. Not really going to miss out. Yeah, played that well. Bit of authority in that. Down leg again from Bogiretti. think he's just exploring the possibility of any big ripping leg spinners. Haven't seen too much turn from him. Little leading edge there. Full toss again. Ah, well fielded. Ah, and it's trickled into the rope. Bit of bad luck for Cassavareddy out there. He did well to get to it. But it was another full toss from Vamsi Bogareddy. Struggling for rhythm here. Smith gets a boundary. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, he's creamed that. That was right out the middle. Well played from Smith. Yeah, just a punch right in the gap. Nicely played. And we are going to head on down now to the first tactical talking points of the test match. Well, there's no right or wrong way to score runs, but we're going to take an interesting look today about whether the grip can impact your success in this format of the game. And we're going to look at three players who have had quite similar series with the bat. All of them struggled in the first two tests to make any impact, but all got runs at Hampshire when the pitch was flat, the bounce was true, and the ball didn't swing. All of them employ their grip with their hands very, very close together. The benefit of this is it allows you to get through the ball early and with power, especially through the leg side. But if we take a look at the three best and most consistent batsmen in this series, they play with their hands far apart, split on the bat, which allows them to play later and straighter. Just to go back to these three, again, the benefits of this grip are that you get hard through the ball, but it does mean that you're going to struggle if there's any bounce or sideways movement, and we're going to take one look for each of them at how this has impacted them in the series. At Hampshire, where it didn't move, Safia is able to push that into the leg side without too much trouble, but when the ball bounces, that flies up in the air, fielder in almost the exact same position, and he's out because he can't change his wrists on the ball. This is Gurpal Singh, again, gets through it nicely on a forward defence at Hampshire when there's no sideways movement or inconsistent bounce. But if we go back to the Woldingham Dome, this ball gets big on him, he can't adjust in time, and he nicks it behind. Nav Saeed mistimes that one slightly, but gets it down and gets it for 4. Whereas in the first test of the series, this ball pops on him a little bit. He gets through it too early and it's in the top net. So at Hampshire, when the ball didn't move and there was no inconsistent bounce, these players were able to score runs. But that technique is dangerous if there's any bounce or movement in the pitch. You get through the ball early and it's going to leave you in trouble. Well, another interesting watch, and two players who do employ split hands on the bat going nicely together here at the moment. Smith and Borrett both out of the school of keeping their hands quite far apart. And both doing an excellent rebuilding job now. They're on top of this game, you'd have to say, having been 0 for 2. Callum Letts just struggling for a bit of rhythm here. Sharp. A lot of class in that. Doesn't really ever commit to a drive in terms of his front foot. He's a very bottom-handed player and he tends to stand his ground and whip his hands through the ball. Very punchy type of player. And a good watch when it comes off as it did there. Excellent shot. Too short from Callum Letts. It's going to be a wide. That's better. That is something we've seen from Dan's 11 in this series. They've tried to get Borrett's leg stump out of the ground. He walks a long way across his stumps. Haven't been able to execute it yet, but they've certainly given it a go, particularly when Yusuf Sharif has been bowling at him. Crowther now, round the wicket. spread field. Looks like he's not really needing anybody behind square. You have to have 3, including the keeper, behind square. So I think he's going to put Khan and Bogey ready as straight as they can possibly be and get his field in front of the wicket. Well, he's kept Bogey ready in at gully. Chucks it down leg, and it's going to be a wide. Runs the risk of that Crowther bowling round the wicket. Natural angle, drift down leg. He's always going to be called if it goes down there. I think he's given this one as well. Yep, another wide. Oh, he's got away with that one. That could well have been a 3rd in a row. Has he got bat on that? Is that going to be 4? Nope, running through, so it doesn't look like it. Off the pad, leg by. Staying around the wicket to Borra here. And 4. That's probably the 3rd time today that we've seen Ricky Borra step right across outside off stump and reach for one, and all 3 times he's nailed it. Looks in really, really good touch. This is about the best rhythm he's looked in all series. Batted well all the way through this series, Ricky Borra, but he really looks fluent today. I think they're just working out some confusion. We mentioned earlier Alvin Sathya unable to bowl, so every set of 10 the other 9 are going to bowl 1 each, and then 1 player gets to bowl a second to close that rotation. And I think Dan Mears might have got his sums wrong here. I think he wanted James Ramsey to bowl the additional over, but as he hasn't bowled yet, he's bowling the 9th and can't bowl 2 in a row, so somebody else will have to bowl the 10th in this rotation. Been excellent today, James Ramsey. And again, bit of bounce. He's been the one bowler we've seen really get the ball to rise off the pitch today. It's generally played quite low from what we've seen so far. Ramsey has been able to find some lift from it. And again there, that's carried through to Sathya. That's a ripper from Ramsey. Smith beaten all ends up. Bit of a battle on the hands for him at the moment. And right in behind it. Good response from Smith. One to come. I think they'll take this one. And what's this? Has he got bat on that? Yes, he has. Given us runs. 19 down. 99 for 2. Well, there was a bit of confusion earlier about who was going to get the second over to close this rotation, and it looks like it's going to be Yusuf Sharif. Bit of a surprise he's not used Gurpal Singh to bowl the additional over in either rotation so far, having got a double wicket maiden to start things off. Oh, it's in the air, just short. Just short of Gurpal Singh. Lifted from Yusuf Sharif. I think that took Smith by surprise. Haven't really seen anything behave like that in this match so far. That one got up. Smith lucky to get away with that. Again, he's played well, Smith, and dug in without ever quite looking at his most fluent best. And again, the discipline outside off stump, a big feature of this innings. Left everything alone that hasn't been bowled at him. Oh, whoa, another little nibble. It's a good over this from Yusuf Sharif. Causing a few problems. Found some life where there's not really been any up to now. I think he's left that one on length, Smith, as much as anything else. And a little wider that time. That's a maiden over and a good one from Sharif. 99 for 2 off 20. And the new rotation is going to be started by, I think, the captain, Mears here. And it looks like they're taking the new ball. Becomes available after 20 overs. One change of ball per innings, which becomes available within a minimum of 20 overs. And it looks like they've taken it immediately here. Probably the right decision. They've not got any life out of that. Ever since that opening salvo from Gurpal Singh, it's been relatively comfortable for these two. The odd flash outside off, the odd sketchy moment, but by and large they've been in total control. Borat has looked in magnificent touch. One shot off Asif Khan earlier. Absolutely top draw. Smith has taken a responsible approach to things as captain. To dig his side out of a hole. Knows he's not at his best, but he'll fight for his runs. And again targeting that leg stump. Surprising that they've not managed to find it once in this series. They've got close. That's good from Mears. Very good again from him today. Tough to get away. Little leading edge, I think, there from Borat. Was looking more towards mid-on than mid-off. Another maiden, 99 for 2. Going to be Callum Letts. Struggled for a bit of rhythm today, Callum Letts. Not really looked at his best. Made a big impression in this series, Callum Letts. Done very, very well up to now in the games that he's played. Been a little off it this morning, though. Little late on that, Smith. Dragged it into the ground. Oh, and he's had another little chop at that. Well, we've praised Smith in this innings for his discipline outside off stump, but in the last couple of overs from Sharif and now Letts, there's just been signs that he's just looking to open up a little bit. And that's good partnership batting from Ricky Borat. I think you might have sensed there that Smith is getting a little tetchy outside off stump for the first time today, really. Just called him through to give him a breather. It does bring up the 100 partnership. Excellent from these two. Really, really good rescue act from 0 for 2. Borat in particular has stood out. That's too short. That's going to be a wide. I think that's probably 3 times we've seen Callum Letts get widened on a bouncer today. Not the tallest. Has to really dig it in to bowl that. And he's not quite found it today. 35 extras. Big problem for Dan's team again. And that is the over. 102 for 2. The century partnership from these two. Excellent contribution. 2 senior players. They've stood up here when they've really, really been needed. And it is going to be Gurpal Singh. And that is absolutely nailed. That is dismissive. Well, we just said it looked as though he was starting to abandon that discipline outside off stump and go at a few. And he's picked the right one there. He's absolutely creamed that. Signs that Smith now is looking to put his foot down. They've done the hard work, they've done the rebuild, and I think both of these two will feel that it's time to dominate now and take this game away from Dan's team early on. And oh, what an effort that is! What an effort from Dan Mears. It's gone for 6, but he's nearly taken an absolute stunner here. Smith has hit it pretty well again. I think he's got a hand on this. We'll have a look at this and slow it down. Yeah, he's got fingers on that. That's a brilliant effort from Dan Mears. We saw in the first test at Bromley, he took an outstanding catch off his own bowling that was given not out, controversially, of Ricky Borrett. Has the potential to do things like that in him. And Smith again plays outside off stump. I think that one was a little straighter, but quite clear now that he's moved away from leaving everything outside his off stump. He's going to play it a few now. Try and get on top of things. This has been an impressive partnership for Alex's team. And what about that? That's another 4. Well, he's starting to look good now, Smith. Starting to take over. Pushed and pushed with power. 14 off that over. Tide is turning rapidly here. From 0 for 2, Alex's team have rebuilt, and it looks as though they've decided this is the moment. And unsurprisingly, Dan Mears turns to James Ramsey. Can probably sense what's coming here, Mears. He needs to take a wicket. If these two start to get going, this could disappear quickly. Series is safe, but Dan's team will really want to get themselves on the board. Didn't win a game last year, haven't won a game this year. Be a big disappointment for them. And they'll want to right that hit. And this has been okay from Ramsey. Borrett showing some intent. No question now that these two are looking to up the rate. It's been a cautious partnership, but they've done all the hard work. And it's time to make it count. Cash in a little bit here. Borrett has been in the 40s for a little while now. Good fielding. Had to cover a bit of ground there to get to that. Ah, cream. Yeah, he's looked in good order through the offside today, Ricky Borrett. Moves to within 1 of a half century. That's fantastic. Again, leading with the bottom hand and the back leg. It's quite an unusual way that he plays it, but so effective. Complete control from these two now. Really stepped it up in the last couple of overs. Ever since Smith had a dash at Yusuf Sharif outside off stump, there's been a clear signal from Alex's team that they're looking to put their foot down. Both batsmen. Smith is just starting to look in good touch. Not going to take the single. Not to Alvin Sathia's arm. Borrett has learnt that lesson in this series with a mix-up with Rob Maguire at Bromley. Not wise to take on that young man. Well, they're appealing for LBW, but I think they're asking for a bit of a miracle there. Could see all 3 stumps outside of where Smith's leg was. And that one's just popped a little bit. Seen a bit of inconsistent bounce here at Nutfield. Should make for interesting viewing as the test develops. Not a huge amount of swing so far. Dan's team don't have so many natural swing bowlers. which could be the reason for that. They haven't got anyone who swings it in the manner that Rob Maguire or Jake Butler do. There hasn't been too much movement in the air. Hammered, 4 more. Imperious. After a tough series, Smith has fought really hard for runs in the last couple of innings. And he'll want to really cash in and make the most of this today. Starting to look good now. And a misfield, and he gets 4. Gurpal Singh out there. That's a poor effort. 8 off that over. More runs being leaked. More control being asserted by Alex's team. These two are both looking good now. James Ramsey again. His second over of this rotation. He's bowling the spare. Four more and 50 for Ricky Borrett. 4 tests out of 4. Becoming routine for him at this point. Clipped that nicely. Not seen too much of him through the leg side today, which is unusual. But another excellent knock. Probably the most fluent he's looked. I think the best innings he played was the first innings at Bromley when the team were in a big hole. But this has certainly been the most entertaining and the most pure batting that we've seen from him. Looked in fantastic rhythm all the way through. The only one who really caused him problems was Ramsey. A couple of nicks behind early on. Fabulous performance again. And we'll have a look at some of the shot play from this excellent 50.
No ball.
Feature of his innings has been outside, off stump. That's where most of them have come. This in particular, I mean, that is an extraordinary stroke. Four tests out of 4. So reliable, so consistent. The star batsman, really, in backyard cricket England, the all-time leading run scorer. And that's a more patient, touch kind of innings rather than raw power that we sometimes see from him. Very, very impressive today. Cassava ready on debut to Smith. Approaching a half century of his own. He's nailed that, but straight to a fielder. Not a lot gets through James Ramsey. And again, and straight to Dan Mears. Well, he'd be annoyed there, Smith. He could have had 8 from those 2 balls. He's picked fielders both times. Well controlled into the ground. And in behind, that one didn't get up quite as much. Another sign of the inconsistent bounce we've seen today. Some have sprung, but generally it's played low. Leaves that one alone. Still showing every sign that he wants to get on with it here, Smith. Paced this innings really well. And again, he's flashed at that. It's a thick edge, but it's 4. Didn't time it. But getting his rewards now. Earned the right for all the hard work that he's done earlier. And right in behind it. 136 for 2. Dan's team in desperate need of a wicket here. Got 2 in the second over. But it's been barren since then. Is Vamsi Bogey ready, the man? I think Borrett will go after him here. Been a very inconsistent performance this from Bogiretti. Really struggled to land it. Oh, that's lovely. Again, he's not overhit that. He's just lent in so much bottom hand to generate the power. It's an excellent strike. And in behind that, well fielded from Ramsey. Again, the timing sprung off the bat from Borrett. Oh, he's gone out of nowhere. Well, where has that come from? Bogey Ready has landed one. I think it's turned. Yeah, it has. That's a good delivery. Spun quite a bit, that. It's the first one that's really turned all day. And out of nowhere, Borrett has misjudged one. Coming down the pitch. Wow, what a surprise that is. What a bonus for Dan's team. But Ricky Borrett, excellent yet again. Another fabulous innings from him. 140 partnership between him and Smith, and that wicket really has come from out of nowhere. We've got a debutant now, Sunil Tiruna Vukarasu. Batting all-rounder. Here on very short notice due to a couple of late pullouts. Very grateful that he's made his way down here for this game. We're told he's a useful cricketer. And it's interesting that he's coming in to face Vamsi Bogireddy, because Vamsi Bogireddy is the man who brought him here. These two are friends. Not too many of the rest of us have seen Sunil in action before. But him and Vamsi are teammates. And it's interesting that he's going to start his backyard career facing his friend. And stretches out to it on the front foot. That was quite elaborate. Bogireddy, what a bonus that is for him. Has that ability to just take wickets out of nowhere. Tends to go for runs, as a lot of leg spinners do. But he just picks up wickets, and he's got a big one there, Ricky Borrett. They'll wish it had come 100 runs sooner, but they'll take it. And how does Smith react now? Will he continue to attack? I think he just needs to stay controlled here, Smith. There's no need to go overboard in terms of attack, but he also doesn't maybe want to bunker down just at the loss of one wicket. Just try and play naturally, pick off the bad balls when they come. But with 3 debutants in a row in this middle order now, and then the tail, a lot rests on him now. This could easily turn into a slightly wobbly situation. Never know what you're going to get from the debutants, and Sunil is the first of 3. Oh, wow! What about that? I think that's a drop catch, and he somehow managed to avoid it going for a boundary. What an extraordinary piece of cricket. We'll slow this down for you. It's a full toss from Crowther. Smith has leathered it. It's right out the middle. Ramsey has just kind of stuck a hand at it. Well, that was an extraordinary piece of cricket. How that's ended up in a dot ball. That could have been a wicket or a 6. What a bizarre moment. Second time Smith has been dropped in this innings, but both of them would have been absolute screamers. They're not even half chances combined. Really. Ramsey, it's just reflex. Absolute reflex. He looks disappointed at mid-wicket, but he's done well just to get a hand on it. He's saved 6. Well, what a bizarre moment that was. And in the event, it's a maiden over from James Crowther. 140 for 3.
There's one bowler left of your choice. No, Rambo's got twice.
Yusuf Sharif remaining in this rotation. To bowl at the debutant Sunil. First impressions of him, seems to be a very front foot dominant player. Extravagant footwork we've seen in his first couple of deliveries. Off Bogireddy. It'll be harder to replicate that against the pace of Sharif. Been decent today, Sharif. Not quite at his best, but been okay. Chance to put a bit of pressure on the debutants here. And it's the last over of the rotation. They'll have their gun bowlers all on again in a moment. Oh, cleaned him. Think that's got between bat and pad. There was a bit of a gate from Sunil. Yeah, I think he's a little late on it as well. Very tough for debutants to adapt to this form of cricket. Pitch is only 13.1 yards, and I think that has just beaten him for pace. Little bit of movement. Sunil Tirunavukarasu gone for a duck. And it brings to the crease our next debutant, Ali Pervez. Looks a very good, very organised player. We were watching him in the warm-up. Again, another of Vamsi Bogireddy's teammates who the rest of us have not seen before, so we're not sure what to expect. But watching him in the warm-up, looks a very organised left-hander. Be interesting to see how he goes. Seems to have a technique pretty well suited to this game. Seems to be quite tight, compact. But he's got Yusuf Sharif to contend with here, and a bit of a wobble on the cards for Alex's team now. Got across his stumps. I think it's hit the leg. Played a couple of drives in the warm-up that were lovely viewing. Quite an elegant player through the offside, it would seem. But it's going to have to take his time before we see that, I'm sure. Oh, and I think he's gone. Yeah, that's bowled him. Excellent from Sharif. Don't think Pervez has done a lot wrong there. Possibly a little lazy in the footwork, but that's moved from Sharif. We've not seen extravagant swing today. And you can see from that side angle, Ali Pervez has just not got forward at all. But it's a good nut. Clip the outside of off stump. 2 wickets in the over for Sharif. Pervez gone for a duck, and suddenly now, this game looks a whole lot different. 140 for 2 has become 140 for 5. And a lot of responsibility on the captain now. Alex Smith was just starting to open up. For the first time in the series, he was just starting to play his shots and look imposing. And I think he's going to be back to playing with discipline now. Saikiran Bejawada is the new batsman. The third of our debutants. With a big job on his hands. Under a lot of pressure now, Alex's team. Always taking a risk with debutants in this form of cricket. It's a tough game to adapt to. And this is one of the things that can happen. Pair of ducks. And they'll need to make sure that Bejawada does not go the same way. 3 for none in the last couple of overs. And it was all looking like such plain sailing when Smith and Borrett were getting going. They'd really started to take the attack to Dan's team. They were in complete control. And Borrett's dismissal has changed the entire picture of this game. Excellent bowling from Yusuf Sharif. Targeting the stumps to the debutants. Oh, and that's a good one as well to finish. Oh, yeah. That's moved in. Just started to find a bit of swing. That's the first real swing we've seen in this entire game. Excellent from Yusuf Sharif. 2 in the over. New bowling rotation. It's 141 for 5. Gurpal Singh. And Bejawada has had a little prod at that. Situation now demands a bit of discipline. Oh, well. Had another little prod at that. Bowling all-rounder, Bejawada. Left that one alone. First impressions are that he certainly seems to be a prodder outside off stump. Not going to leave a lot. Off the body. Lined himself up pretty well in this over in terms of his footwork. Hasn't managed to get bat on anything yet. Gurpal Singh bowling well. And prodded again at that. Think that's going to be the area to target him. He's certainly going to play outside off stump. Oh, and that's a beauty. Bit of a mixed bag from Gurpal Singh today, but that was one of his good overs. Well bowled, maiden. 141 for 5. Callum Letts. Been a bit disappointing today, Letts. He struggled. Just seems to be lacking any rhythm. Oh, and that's ugly. That's a no ball. On the back foot already in this over, Callum Letts. Been a disappointing day for him up to now. Oh, and that's hammered. And that's 50. Well played from Smith. His best innings in backyard cricket up to now. Hammered that. Driving has been in good order today. That's a good 50 from the captain. Finally starting to see something from him in backyard cricket, and that's the best he's played in this format. Good knock. Callum Letts under pressure. Oh, it's a good response. I think Smith has left that. He does do that. He plays within the line of the ball, covering for any in-swing, but quite happy to be beaten on the outside edge. Oh! Wow. That is one of the deliveries of the series. Wow. To a batsman who's just gotten to 50 and seeing it well. That's an absolute peach from Callum Letts. What a beauty that is. Poor follow-up, and that's been his problem today. Really erratic. What a beauty that was, though. Saw the reaction from Smith and Letts. Both acknowledging what an excellent delivery that was. Down leg to close the over out. Well, let's have a look at a half century from the captain. Look at the drop catches first. I mean, they're quarter chances at best. But the main feature has been his shot play down the ground. His driving has been in excellent order today, which is normally a sign that he's playing well. Pretty much all of his runs coming straight. Good knock that from the captain, and it will be interesting to see how he plays with that tumble of wickets. Had to fight and fight and fight at Hampshire, had to fight and fight here, and then he finally started opening up and playing a few shots. And they lose 3 wickets for none in the middle. So may have to just play with a bit more discipline. That's going to be a leg bite. Good from Smith. Think he's reason that he needs to be on strike for the better bowlers in Dan's side. He'll want to be facing Ramsey, Sharif, Mears himself. Won't want to expose the debutant at number 7, and then the tail after that. Needs to be facing as many of these deliveries as possible, and sensible that he's not interested in taking the leg bye there. Taking responsibility, the captain. Good nut. On the boot, but you can only be LBW if you're not playing a shot. And I think Smith was attempting to dig that one out. No real appeal from the bowler. And again off the leg. So it seems that the aggression from Smith might be a thing of the past now. Looks like bunkering down and just rebuilding again is the focus of his priorities. That's well left. Well bowled as well. Been good, Ramsey. And we're going to head on now back to tactical talking points for a fascinating look at the umpiring in this series. Well, we've been looking into some of the umpiring in this series, and we've unearthed some interesting numbers that might be the opposite of what you'd expect. So if we take a look at the players who have done the most umpiring in this series, there's no independent umpires, the players do it themselves. The umpires who have done the job the most split between batsmen and bowlers, and we'll see that surprisingly the bowlers far harsher when it comes to giving wides. Almost a 2-over difference between the wides given by the batsmen who go into umpire and the bowlers. And we're going to have a look and see how this impacts the players. We're going to give you 2 examples. The first one, Yusuf Sharif, is given a pretty harsh wide outside off stump. Very nice ball, he overcompensates, slings it down leg, and Elliot Fox flicks him for 4. Whereas if we have a look at Ewan McGregor in the third test, again outside off stump, not given as a wide this time in a roughly similar area, so he's got the confidence to keep that off stump line and he gets a nick behind for the wicket. And if we take a look at a leg side example, we'll see here Callum Letts bowling to James Crowther, not too far down leg side, but he's given as a wide, and the next ball, what happens? He overcompensates on a length outside off and Crowther smashes him for 4. Whereas in that very same test match, Dan Mears, similar delivery to Callum Letts, not too far down leg, not given as a wide, gives him the confidence to keep that line, and he gets a wicket very next ball over the fence. So we're going to go back to that original table now and have a look at it again. And we've got a fascinating suggestion as to why this might be the case. If we break these numbers down on a test-by-test basis, we'll see that the batsmen who have umpired have remained fairly consistent all the way through, whereas the bowlers are getting harsher and harsher. Is it possible that these numbers are a result of the bowlers getting revenge on each other for wides given earlier in the series? It's a fascinating number being thrown up there, and we'll look out for that in the rest of this test match. Well, that was certainly a fascinating theory. At the end of that, you could make a case that that might be among the most interesting tactical talking points we've seen in this series. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. And Dan Mears back on now. Smith looking for that run. Sent him back that time. But he's on his toes, Smith. He'll want to be facing Dan Mears. Won't want the debutant at that end. And he'll pull him through here. Yeah, good awareness. This is good cricket at the moment from Smith. Game awareness. Would much prefer himself to be facing the leading bowlers on Dan's side. Oh, maybe not so much wanting to be wafting at them though. Dan Mears has been excellent again today. I mean, those figures. 3.5 overs, not yet gone for so much as a single run. And that's hit Smith on the shoulder. Left alone. Bit of bounce there as well from Mears. That came quite high to Sathya. Fullish length. I think he's left that, Smith. We've seen that a few times from him today. Just sort of offers a prod, but not really playing at it. Another excellent over from Mears. 4 maidens out of 4 for him. Led the way again, really, with his aggression, concentration, discipline. Just doesn't bowl a bad ball. And I think this arrangement suits Alex Smith a little better. Asif Khan on debut just struggled to land it. He'll be quite happy for Bejawada to face Khan, more so than Mears or Ramsey, and that's a good nut from Asif Khan. See what that's done. Oh yeah, it has done a bit well. We've not really seen any movement off pitch from Bogireddy or Khan, but that one really did do a bit. And a poor follow-up, and that's been such a problem in this series for Dan Mears. Sporadic moments of excellence, but no consistency. There's a wide and a bye there. 45 extras. This game could have been so different for Dan's team. Don't think this is going to be out. Smith looks relaxed, gets a single. This is a much better over from Asif Khan. Just starting to adjust to this format now. Slow start for him. Good arm from Ramsey, but yeah, he's well in. Not even a debate about that, really. Much, much better from Asif Khan. He's been impressive in this over. But again, following it up poorly. Just signs that he's getting to grips with the format. But still chucking the odd pudding down. Short, pulled, 4. Tried that a couple of times earlier, Smith, and picked out the fielders. No such bad luck this time. Hit that really well. That's a wide to finish up. Some promising signs in that over for Massive Khan, but some dicey moments as well. Look at that. What an extraordinary scorecard that is. You don't get them like that very often. Yusuf Sharif on again. Just lost his run up a little bit. And again from Smith, taking control of the situation when the best bowlers are on for Dan's team. That's been a feature of this partnership. This partnership now 23, with Bejawada yet to get off the mark. It's been really good game awareness from Smith, and that's a wide from Sharif. Gone back into his shell in terms of scoring, Smith. I think he's going to take his time, get through this rotation, and maybe look to open up a bit once Bejawada's a bit more settled. But he's protecting the debutant here, and doing a good job of it. Good from Sharif. Mears, Ramsey and now Sharif already bowled in this rotation, so I don't think Smith will bust a gut to take strike for the next over. Yep, lets it go outside off. 165 for 5. Good little cat and mouse game going on here between Smith and the fielding side. Wow, what an extraordinary shot that is. Saikiran Bejawada gets off the mark in backyard cricket in some style, that. Picked the gap beautifully there. That was a very unique shot. Oh, had a little nibble. Sends him back. I think the right call. Crowther's on. Good fielder, James Crowther. Oh, in the air. Where is it? Out. Gurpal Singh gets his third. He's had a good day. Career best figures for him. Leading edge. Almost turned himself around there, Bejawada. And well done. Saikiran Bejawada gone for 4, but he's played his part in a 29 partnership, which has been important for Alex's team, just to stall a bit the momentum Dan's team had built up. And this is not a bad player to have coming in at number 8. Bevan West made 70 on debut at Woldingham and looked excellent. Coming to the crease now after missing the game at Hampshire. Dan Mears rewarded for giving Gurpal Singh, for the first time today, he's given Gurpal Singh the double overs in the rotation. Used Ramsey and Sharif so far for that role, but he's given it to Gurpal Singh this time. Rewarded with the wicket of Bejawada. Oh, that's a good nut. Good nut to start with for a new batsman. Bevan West is a class player. And with Smith for company, they'll still feel quite comfortable that they can get a decent score here. 200 would seem to be par. Not been too many demons in the pitch. Been the odd good moment from Dan's team, or the odd poor moment from Alex's team have brought about the wickets. Discipline with the ball and creating pressure slowly seems to be the order of the day. There's not been extravagant swing, the odd bit of dodgy bounce. Overall, looks a good batting track. A little jab at that, Smith. I think now that Bevan West has come to the crease, Smith might feel more comfortable being positive again. Bunkered down since the triple wicket salvo earlier on. Pull that, 4 more. Played it quite casually, but nailed it. Made a good noise off the back wall. Oh, well, where's he put this? Oh, no, what a soft end. What a soft end for Alex Smith after all that work. Oh, he'll be fuming with himself. He's just about clipped it over the height limit. You won't be able to see it from this angle, but it's fractions over the top. He's played really well today, Smith. His best knock in backyard cricket so far. But he'll be disappointed for it to end like that. Gone for 61. It's 173 for 7. And they might have a bit of a battle on their hands to get to 200 here. Ewan McGregor can hold a bat. .38 overs of effort from Smith, culminating in popping a short ball over the height limit. Ewan McGregor more than capable of getting a few though. And along with Bevan West now, I think the test match might be defined by what Bevan West does in the rest of this innings. That's a good shot from Ewan McGregor. First ball 4. They'll just want to try and get as close to 200 as they can. That would seem to be about par. Very good down the ground, McGregor. If Bevan West gets going, he can take this game away from Dan's team very quickly. If he gets out early, you could argue Dan's team are on top of this. Intriguing little partnership, this one. Important for Alex's team that they put on a few at least. Immediately looks in good touch, McGregor. Cries have come on Vamsey, and it was he who flipped this game on its head with the dismissal of Ricky Borrett. Oh, that's a pie. Not a bad ball to get on naught for Bevan West. Yeah, leathered that. But it was Vamsey Bogireddy who changed the entire nature of this game. At 140 for 2, Smith and Borrett were dominating. Oh, where's that? That's gone all the way. Yeah, it's gone for 6. That's barely got off the ground. Some power in the wrist from Bevan West. Yeah, that's barely gone above shin height. Great hit. Looks in the mood. Better from Bogireddy. Been a mixed bag from him today. The odd decent nut and a lot of filth in between times. Ah, that's well played. Just got enough bat on it. Didn't quite punch through it, but just got enough on it and picked the gap. 4 more. Looks a bit more rosy for Alex's team now. 191 for 7. How many more can they get over 200? They'll expect to get 200 from here. How close can they get to sort of 230, even 250 if Bevan West gets going? Little appeal for a catch, but not too much enthusiasm. 14 off that over. It's a good over for Alex's team. Bevan West up and running. What can McGregor produce? Not sure who he's going to be facing yet. Kisava ready, I think the only bowler yet to bowl in this rotation, and it is ready to finish the rotation. An interesting debut. That's too short, and that's a wide. Every run will help. Far too many extras from Dan's team today, 53. And if you think, without such ill discipline, there's every chance they could have knocked Alex's team over for 160 here. Put them well in charge of the game, and it's been a theme all the way through this series. Far too many cheap runs. Alex's 11 have bowled with discipline and control, and as a result, they've never lost a test match in backyard cricket. That's well bowled, that's better. McGregor is a calm head. Plays his shots, he's aggressive, but he's not reckless. Quite a cool, understated type of character. Very composed. Doesn't say a lot. Not a flashy player, he just gets on with it, and he's dug in there.
Yeah, you're fresh again now.
New rotation. I think we'll be seeing Mears, Sharif, Ramsey, Gurpal Singh, probably fairly early here, trying to kill this. And it is Dan Mears to start us off.
Yeah, but in terms of the noise.
I think they're still discussing the appeal from Vamsi Bogireddy off Bevan West earlier on, the court behind. I think some questions were being asked of Rob Maguire about that. Rob Maguire umpiring. Didn't look like he got bat on it, but I think there's still some consternation from Dan's team about that decision. And Maguire's just taken one on the head. Well played from Bevan West, right behind that. Looks in decent touch after missing the last game. Oh, cleaned up round his legs. Well, that's good cricket from Dan Mears. And he deserves that. Just got too far across. This is something they try with Ricky Bora every game and not managed to pull it off. It's worked on Bevan West here. He's gone for 14. 193 for 8, and Alex's team will be desperate to get over 200 here. Dan Mears, 4.3 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for naught. What a top-class performance. And the new man is going to be James Maguire, can hold a bat. Played a massive part in the win at Bromley.
Is that small, is it? I don't know, it's a lot. Three.
As with so many players, James Maguire made his career best at Hampshire, and after a little delay, we're up and running again. Mears to Maguire. Well played right behind that. Very compact, James Maguire, fights for his wicket. Going to have to here against Dan Mears, who has just been excellent all the way through this series. Complete absence of wickets to show for it. Deserves so many more with the way he's bowled. And another wicket maiden there. 5 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for naught. The captain has led by example today. He's been excellent. It's 193 for 8. And pretty unsurprisingly, it's James Ramsey. Just these two to dismiss now. There is a last man standing. So once the next wicket falls, the remaining batsman will play until the end. Oh, and that's going to be now. Ewan McGregor's gone. Ramsey finds his length first ball. First wicket for him today, James Ramsey. It's been a good performance. And like Dan Mears, he's getting late reward for his efforts. Ewan McGregor gone for 4. And Rob Maguire comes to the wicket. He's going to act as a runner for the last man standing. James Maguire will be facing all the deliveries. And we haven't seen a runner used at Hampshire or Woldingham because of the small boundaries and the complete absence of singles at those venues. But at this bigger venue in Nutfield, Rob Maguire is going to act as a runner for his brother. So I'm sure there'll be some stern family words if there's a run out here. Down leg from Ramsey. James Maguire's job is quite simple here. Whatever it takes, by hook or by crook, get 7 more runs at least. Now it's off the boot. Ah, shot. Pick that one up nicely on the half volley. That was nicely played from James Maguire, just lent into it. Bit lazy from Bogaretti at mid-wicket, could have made a better job of that. But 4 runs, 197. Down leg. You would think it'll be either Sharif or Singh on next. Those will be the next 2 overs. If James Maguire can get through those, he can try and cash in a little bit on the part-timers. See how many he can get. Scored 40 at Hampshire. It was an excellent innings. Really mowed a few through the leg side that day. It is going to be Yusuf Sharif. Old friends, these two. They go back a long way. And Maguire will hope to have his number here. Oh, it's in the air, and it's Sharif who wins the battle. And he's delighted. Excellent celebration from Sharif. I think it was Ramsey who held the catch. It's 197 all out. And a lovely little celebration from Yusuf Sharif at the end. But Dan's 11 have performed excellently here. From 140 for 2. They'll be delighted with that. Alex's 11 won the toss, chose to bat. They're 197 all out. So Dan's team, definitely the happier side at the interval. That was an astonishing comeback from 140 for 2 and the position they were in when Smith and Borrett were going. For Alex's team, it was the captain who played the key innings of 61 and Ricky Borrett made a gorgeous half-century. But the 3 debutants in the middle order failed to get going and it cost them a 200-plus total. For Dan's side, the captain himself was excellent, 1 for 0 from his 5 overs. Gurpal Singh and Yusuf Sharif took the majority of the wickets and there was a useful contribution too from James Ramsey. This game is delicately poised now. Dan's team will feel they've done enough to get on top of this game. Join us again for the second innings and we'll see how they respond.